Hi, it's Charlie giving you Friday's video. Sorry I didn't do a video earlier in the week. It's been quite a busy week this week. So today's video is on a concept that I use in trading. So the concept is this. What you find markets do at times is they'll test support or they'll test resistance areas. And of course they do that all the time, but they'll test them um, on several occasions, several times. So let's say price is coming down to a support zone, let's say. So it finds support down here, and then it comes down again, and and it bounces, and it comes down again, and it bounces, and it comes down again. And so you get 3 or 4 goes at a level in a row. And I liken this to skimming a pebble across the top of the surface of a pond. So you imagine you're skimming a pebble over the surface of the water, and it bounces the first time, and then it usually bounces a few times before eventually the inertia runs out and it goes through the surface of the water. So that's called pebble on a pond. That's what I call it. And I use that exact concept in trading when I see multiple tests of a level. Now, that multiple test of a level could be a horizontal support zone, like in the example I've given you here, or it could also be something like, if I just draw a line on here, so it could also be, if I just give it that, bring the pen back up, a trend line. And so it could be that price has been going up in a nice trend. It's got a nice trend line in support, and if the trend line is not too steep, I've probably drawn this one quite steep actually, but then it can test that many times. But what you often will find is that price, again like that pebble on a pond, will gradually start to test the line more frequently, a bit like here. And now it's the first couple of times, yeah, great, should bounce, and then you have to then watch out if it keeps coming back down for it, that we might then get that break. So it's a concept that I use, and then how do I actually apply that? How do I actually apply it in my trading? So if I've noticed pebble on a pond, so to speak, within a trend like this, then of course as price then starts to roll over, what can happen is price could have come up to here, and then on a smaller time frame it might have already started to roll over, you see. So let's say this is a daily chart, but on an hourly chart up here, so let's say that's an hourly chart, it's already started to roll over, and all the momentum and everything, price momentum, has started to roll over. So I can then get into a trade knowing that it's got a good chance of wanting to come back down for this line again, take some profit off at the line, and then try and get a bit of a run out of it. So now that's just a simple example between a daily chart and using a smaller time frame like the hourly to get an entry. You could do the same with a weekly chart, and then using a daily chart to get in. So that's just one idea that you could use for getting in on a trade like this. So pebble on a pond, what's actually happening is the market's running out of steam as it's continuing to retest this level, whether it's a diagonal trend line like this. It could be a moving average even. It could be a moving average, and it's doing the same thing, multiple tests of a moving average, then eventually it goes for a break. So, or of course, if it doesn't provide that opportunity up here and then starts turning over, it could be that it's already tested many times, and then it just starts going for the break, of course. And then you can apply normal sort of techniques like a break of the trend line and a retest of the trend line to then get a short or whatever. So it's a really powerful move actually. I use it in many different ways with our traders. I have some strategies around it actually, but let's actually go and have a look at a couple of charts. So if I take that off, get rid of that. If we go to the daily chart of the euro dollar, for example, so the euro dollar on the daily chart's got very messy, as we can see in recent months, and but what we can see here is that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see we're getting multiple tests of this level, plus this, obviously this one that happened went a bit lower here, but you can almost include that within this. So the euro dollar is a fascinating chart at the moment because it's got pebble on a pond going on right now. Now the chart itself is very very sideways and choppy, but again, watch out. Now it doesn't mean to say that it can't obviously carry on bouncing here, but when you get multiple tests like this, if it bounces and then starts to roll again, then you know what I'll be doing now, don't you? So, or if it just starts to come and break from here, then you also know what I'll be doing. So there's a nice sort of live sort of example of pebble on a pond there, and you'll see these sort of examples all over the place. And sometimes it can take quite a long time for price to come back. It'll set the pattern up, especially if it's on a daily chart. It could bounce for a month or so and then roll back over. So these things can take time, but actually it's really quite useful because it allows me to get into trades long in advance, really. Fun enough, there's a pebble on a pond on the weekly chart of the dollar yen going back a bit. You can see I've got an old horizontal trend line here. So again, across these highs, the dollar yen has been testing. This is going back over a couple of years, been testing these levels here. And so at some point in the future, now obviously the dollar yen is nowhere near that level at the moment. I see where it actually is. It's right down here. But if I saw the dollar yen, if I bring the pen up one more time, if I saw the dollar yen at some point in the future back up here in this zone, then all of a sudden, and all the price actions moving to the upside, then I'd then know that we've got a good chance of coming back to retest that old pebble on a pond line up there. So it's really quite a fascinating part of analysis you'll start to see these tests all over the place. Like even on the dollar yen, we've actually got a load of tests down here as well. Look. All right, that one spiked through. That's fine. So we've got a number of horizontal tests down here as well. So which way is it going to go? Well, you could argue that it's already had 3 tests down here, but I usually want 4, a minimum of 4 really, to say it's pebble on a pond. And so is it going to roll back down to break all of these again, or is it going to roll back up to come and retest these up here? So fascinating chart. So there you go. Take that away, look at some charts, and you'll start to notice whether the pebble on a pond is using a trend line or a moving average, which are obviously at an angle, or horizontal support and resistance lines where you see multiple tests of those levels. And if you then see price starting to work its way back up, then that could be really interesting. So back here, I thought that the dollar yen was going to work its way back up for that line. Didn't work out, so obviously, I did get into a long side trade somewhere over there. It didn't work out, obviously, just rolled back over, didn't it? But so it's not like anything. It's not going to be 100%. But if I did see it coming back up here again, I would gladly trade it again. So it's a great little concept. Take it away, have a play with it, and you can devise strategies around it. I'm just giving you a heads up as to the general look and feel of it, but I have some more specific strategies around it that I trade with as well. So do have a little play with it and see how you get on. That's it for this week. Hope you have a lovely weekend. Take care. I'll see you next week. Ciao.